Um, this was the topic given to me, designing brand stories. But you know, the English is right, but if I were to change the order of it, the order of importance. Okay, so the order is brands first, stories second, and designing comes first. And we'll see today that designing is a very misunderstood word, because the moment you say designing, hands, pencils, and everything else comes into play. But when you're designing for brands, you don't need illustrators, you don't need animators. We do something much before the illustrators and animators and the art directors come in. So we'll go one by one, okay? We'll say how this talk would have changed if I were a brand. So I would have my own logo. My name is pretty boring, nobody gets it, why I have two names. So I change it to something cooler. That also has my origin story. I'm from Hyderabad. I would say that I won many advertising awards, so all of you say respect me and say look up to me. I was the youngest member ever on the Indian board of the world's most advertising agency. So now what happens? Whatever comes out of my mouth, you say, "Arey, this must be true," and you take notes. Okay? Imagine if this would have been FedEx. Thank God it's not, because nobody would attend a FedEx talk. And I didn't know who you were until I Googled and said, this is symbiosis, good word, international, even better, and it's a university, it's not a college. So I said, yeah, I'll go. Okay? That's the importance of a brand. So now the same slide changes, where everything there is a brand. Now we see what are the stories. Okay? So now I've got the respect, but what brands need to do is go one level deeper, because respect is not enough, and we know nobody gets respect in today's world. You can only connect. So what if I told you that I did my MBA from Kakatiya University? How many of you have heard about that? Okay, I'll make it a little easier. How many of you have heard of a place called Warangal? Best audience ever. That I was a door-to-door salesman, but what you didn't know, that I was selling health cards. You heard of credit cards, nobody knows what health cards are. Health cards was just a card that I could take to a hospital and the patient would get a discount. But where did I sell them? I sold them at arak shops. So I used to go there because they were all drunks with lots of money. And I joined Mudra as a junior most sales officer in Hyderabad. So now what happens now? Now you know this is not, you give me a benefit of doubt that maybe he's not as shallow as his t-shirt says he is, but maybe he has something like a soul. He's a hardworking guy who's come up. So from respect, it suddenly moves to a small connect. Like, you know, like you say, well, what college is this? This was the same college where she passed out of. Suddenly there's newfound love for the college. You say, acha, matlab, sensible people also come out of this college. And it's not just some other day that we're speaking. It's the day Abraham Lincoln was made president, which incidentally was also one of the longest speeches, presidential speeches ever in the US history. And we are now supposed to finish it in 20 minutes. Okay, that's good. What's designing? Designing is, there are a lot of truths that all of us have. The best designer picks the truths that he wants to portray and hides the truth he doesn't want to say. We are not liars. Okay, there's a thin difference. After the first slide, maybe I could be a liar because I didn't communicate some things before coming here. That I'm ex-Mudra. I quit my job on the 15th of November. If I had said that first, if I had said that during the call, maybe you would not have called me. Because why would you call an ex-Mudraite? But there's a new reality that we need to wake up to. Is that all the world as a stage is very Shakespeareish. It's a reality show now. So all of us are naked. No matter what you say, it's going to be interpreted, you're going to be judged. Now imagine you are a brand. So you can't be opinionated, You can't take sides, but you have to take sides, and you have to say something, and you have to design those brand stories where you're not supposed to take a chance because it could be controversial. How many of you said you want to get into marketing and advertising? A few hands down. Okay? But this is what beautiful brands do when they have to be truthful. I will show you something that Coke has done.
For over 125 years, we've been bringing people together. Today, we'd like to come together on something that concerns all of us: obesity. The long-term health of our families and the country are at stake, and as the nation's leading beverage company, we have played an important role. Across our portfolio of over 650 beverages, we now offer 180 low and no-calorie choices. These diet beverages still pose serious health risks. Even though we've reduced the calories per serving, these beverages can still cause kidney problems, obesity, metabolic syndrome, cell damage, and rotting teeth, which leaves 470 beverages which have extremely high, unhealthy levels of calories. Consuming large amounts of rapidly digested sugar and high fructose corn syrup causes a spike in blood sugar and insulin, which can lead to inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which may increase your risk of stroke, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and cancer. Coke has also been known to accelerate aging and cause high cholesterol. The American Heart Association recommends consuming no more than 450 calories from sugar-sweetened beverages per week, the amount in about 3 cans of soda. Imagine if cigarette companies said they were doing something responsible to protect you. How would you react to that? Beating obesity will take action by all of us, based on one simple, common sense fact. All calories are not the same, and the calories in Coca-Cola products have no nutritional value. If you choose to live a healthy lifestyle, then you should not be drinking any of our products. If you drink Coke, you'll get fatter and fatter. The solution is simple, and it's right in front of your eyes. Don't drink Coke. It's killing you and your family. Coca-Cola, we're partially responsible for America's obesity problem.
Might not be one of the greatest ads I've seen, but certainly one of the bravest. I don't see any brand saying don't drink Coke. How many of you agree with me? That is brave of Coke to do it? Except that Coke didn't do it. This is not a Coke ad. But you check your WhatsApp and all the forwards, it says how brave of Coke to come up with this ad. Do you want to see what Coke actually said?
For over 125 years, we've been bringing people together. Today, we'd like people to come together on something that concerns all of us: obesity. The long-term health of our families and the country is at stake. And as the nation's leading beverage company, we can play an important role. Across our portfolio of more than 650 beverages, we now offer over 180 low and no-calorie choices. And most of our full-calorie beverages now have low or no-calorie versions. Over the last 15 years, this has helped reduce the average calories per serving across our industry's products in the U.S. by about 22%. We've created smaller portion-controlled sizes for our most popular drinks, and will have them in about 90% of the country by the end of this year. We've added the calorie content of all our beverages on the front to help make it even easier for people to make informed decisions. For elementary, middle, and high schools, our industry has voluntarily changed its offerings to primarily waters, juices, and low and no-calorie options. This has helped reduce the calories from our industry's beverages in those schools by 90% since 2004. We support programs like the Boys and Girls Club of America that enable young people to get active and start healthy habits early. Leading is also about new thinking, which is why we will continue to work with scientists and nutritionists on innovative things like zero-calorie, all-natural sweeteners. But beating obesity will take action by all of us, based on one simple common-sense fact. All calories count, no matter where they come from, including Coca-Cola and everything else with calories. And if you eat and drink more calories than you burn off, you'll gain weight. The well-being of our families and communities concerns everyone, and finding a solution will take continued effort from all of us. But at Coca-Cola, we know when people come together, we can make a real difference. To learn more, visit coke.com/coming-together.
So Coke spent multi-million dollars deal in shooting an extremely well-made edited shot in various countries, kind of a commercial, spends multi-million dollars into media, and some nut somewhere in some country figures out that he puts some common sense and says this is all bullshit. So all he does is change the voiceover. And everybody thinks, oh, Coke is telling me not to drink Coke, how good of them, so I shall not drink Coke. Welcome to advertising. We're all naked, I wasn't lying. So if you have to make any kind of impact, all the USPs that you've learned, it's not about unique selling propositions anymore. Do you have a unique soulful purpose? If you do not have, you can pass your time, you can spend your money, and you can say all your curves can go down, and you can promise your board of directors that we'll make money, but the truth is you'll never make money. In this generation, in this world, not anymore. So in stories, we have something called a log line. When we write a story, it's typically when you buy a DVD or when you buy a book, there's a 3-4 line description of what the movie is about at the back. So log line looks something like this. Forget everything that marketing tells you. See if you have the heart to feel something like this. A protagonist's life could be better, and she might not even know it that it's not better now, with the help of a lover, which could be our brand. So she squashes the dash and lives happily ever after. If you can finish this small sentence succinctly and if there's a unique soulful purpose there, it says who's the protagonist. Now comes, how do you squash this dash? What is this problem that you're trying to solve? One of the most obvious things that comes to mind is the Walkman, and how Steve Jobs dramatically took out the iPod and completely sent Walkman out of all the walkways. This is genius. How do you take what people already love and say that there's something more that you're missing, create an IPL and make money out of it, and You might not like it, but as a branding expert, I absolutely love it. Now comes, who's the lover? How can the brand be the lover? So there's a, not your kind of a problem, but there's a huge difference between lovers versus husbands. You'll know later in life that lovers never take you for granted. Every day is a surprise. They're always on time. They don't look at any other girl. But a husband, you'll know that later. That's the difference between creators versus agencies. The reason I quit my job is because agencies make you feel like a husband, and I was already a husband, so I said, why do double jobs? How are creators different from agencies? You know those guys? Nod, marketing fellows, Nod. They are the guys who founded Airbnb with 4 mattresses. And they have more than 1 lakh rooms, more than the biggest hotel group in the world, without any advertising. You see the advertising now, but until they became that, there was no advertising. Netflix, 50% drop in TV viewing. They didn't advertise. You think Uber is the new cool. We are not far away from driverless cars. Neither are we far away from Hyperloop. How many of you have heard of Hyperloop? Good college, ma'am. Hyperloop, we're saying they're about 38 to 50 months away from India, which means I can literally go from Mumbai to Hyderabad in 60 minutes, which is like the time that I take to go from Hyderabad airport to Hyderabad. So what plans are you making? Who are you? Jet Airways? What brand are you? Kodak is bankrupt, and Instagram was bought for $1 billion. Applause for that? Hold it. You know what that is? Not the girl. They're the spectacles. So spectacles come and they change Instagram. So before you come out of college, remember this, that tomorrow was so yesterday. Now go back to your textbooks. Look at the year that the textbook was printed on. Now write this on the textbook, that tomorrow was so yesterday. And remember that lovers always make your day, because you're not theirs yet. So of course they'll make your day. But husbands only promise a future. It's always a future. So choose wisely. Thank you.